There we go. Pushing the button. Important part to start the stream. I thought I did, but I didn't. But this time it worked. Hello. Let's Play Ball. Baseball is back. Bill Jr., Bill Sr., and me. I'm Jeff. Dole Dad is my channel. Bush League Baseball is this channel. Magic of the Mouse TV is the YouTube channel. Magic of the Mouse, the podcast, is the podcast. We're talking baseball. We've been away for 2 weeks. Baseball's been away for what? 4 months, 3 months, whatever the heck it is. Bill Jr., Bill Sr., we actually have real baseball things to talk about. Are you half as excited as I am?
Tomorrow's the day. We'll see.
Yep.
I can't wait for it to get going.
They're not there yet.
Didn't some teams meet up today?
They might have. I know.
About that. I don't know.
Yeah, they might have, but I know tomorrow's the day they're supposed to report.
I'm excited. We got Tim Pruitt in the house. We got the Sure Nut 60 in the house. Obviously, you missed the last few weeks, but I can't imagine missing again. We have real baseball. I bet we go through October. Heck, I bet we never take another Thursday off for the rest of our lives for all I care. I am excited. What's the big news? I think I know what the big news is for me. Obviously, playing baseball is the biggest news. Bill Jr., let's start with you. What's the biggest news since we've talked? I mean, it's been 2-3 weeks since we've talked. What's the biggest news that you want to talk about tonight on our show? Hey,
So for me, the biggest news is all the players opting out to play the 2020 season. There's been a lot of guys, and Monday was the latest. So here's the list of players that have decided to opt out of the 2020 season. So from the Nationals, Ryan Zimmerman and Joe Ross are opting out from playing. Zimmerman's reasons include because he has 3 young children, including a newborn. His mother has multiple sclerosis, putting her at high risk for contracting the virus. And he has not confirmed if he is retiring yet. And then Joe Ross
said he's not, but he'll decide later, is what I read.
Yeah, it's to be determined.
Yes.
Joe Ross, the team confirmed it the other day. He's going to be opting out with Ryan Zimmerman sitting out the season. He's 27. He was expected to compete for a spot in their starting rotation. He recorded a 5.48 ERA, 11.67 WHIP, and then 64 innings last season. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yep.
Another notable pitcher sitting out the season is Mike Leake for the Diamondbacks. His agent, Denny Horowitz, confirmed his decision the other day. Pending free agent was the first known MLB player to forego playing this season. He was in the final season of his 5-year, $80 million deal and will pass up his $5.5 million prorated salary.
You know, for me, that's the big one. Everybody's giving the Nationals duo all the press. Ross may or may not have been one of the starters. I don't think he would have, but he might have been. Ryan Zimmerman, it really would have been more about Carter Kieboom, I think is his name, than Ryan Zimmerman if he played. But for me, Mike Leake is a real starter on a team that's, well, my Dodgers there in the NL West. I've always liked Mike Leake. Obviously, he's at the end of his career, but he would have clearly been one of the bottom guys in that rotation. I think it's that win for my Dodgers, not having him there. Ross, I don't think I care about too much. Zimmerman, I don't know. I think he probably wouldn't have been a starter this year anyway. What do you guys think?
Well, he's going to actually lose more than his prorated salary from this year. He was signed for next year. I think it was a mutual option for next year. It was like $18 million, but he had a buyout of $5 million or $5.1 million for next year.
Yeah.
So he's actually,
let's be real. He's got enough money in the bank that he could, and I know you said, Bill Jr., you said Monday was the last day. I'm calling foul on that. I bet we're going to have more. I bet. What are they going to do? Hey, I'm not coming to work. What happens?
Yeah. I'm really curious to see. I'm sure Mike Trout is going to be there, but his wife is due in early August, and he's already made the comment earlier in the year that he's not missing that. So is that going to throw a wrench in the thing? Is he going to have to, quarantine when he comes back if he goes home? I'm not sure how that's going to work.
If that's the situation and they're actually in a pennant race, which they could be. Yeah. I actually think they will be. I think the 3 of us could be half of their starting rotation, so it's unlikely, but could happen.
I know one thing. Major League Baseball took all the fun out of the Astros games this year, though.
Why do you say that? Why?
Absolutely zero fighting will be tolerated.
Whatever.
So
my mom used to tell me to eat my vegetables. That doesn't mean I did. What the heck?
So that's going to curtail the beanballs for the Astros for the cheating scandal. So I'll be curious to watch that.
Oh, they said no fighting. They said you can't throw at someone.
Yeah, but what happens?
Rule 2. You can't throw at someone intentionally, but they do that all the time.
Oops.
And let's remember the other big one they had. I was watching. I don't know where we say. No, it was Mike and Golick and Wingo this morning. I was watching, and they were talking about there's no spitting. That's No spitting, no
Right.
seeds. They're like, are they going to have people, in the dugouts with, bands
Who's
on their
that?
arm, the
Who's
spit
the
police?
spitting umpire, right? Let's
Yeah.
give that job to Joe West. Maybe he can do that all right.
Yeah, that's going to be some crazy rules. But the one thing that I heard too that kind of makes a lot of sense, and instead of keeping the dugout filled up, they're talking if you're on the when it starts out, they're going to have a 30-man roster, and then it's going to drop down to 26 after a few weeks. But if you're on that 30 or whatever roster, and if you're not in the game, you're not in the dugout.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
They're going to have them sitting up in the stands. There's not going to be any up, you can be right behind the dugout or in that area, but they're not going to have them in the dugout.
Bax, I see in the chat, what's going on? Yeah, I agree. Mike Lee is solid. I remember when he was on the Reds. I've always liked him. He's actually a really good hitter, too. I don't know what you're talking about. You're digging that Phillies hat. You better stay Dodgers Nation, Bax. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Sure nuts. I don't know if I said hello to you. I hope I did. Will be an interesting season for sure. That's for sure. Did you hear about my Dodger, Andrew Tolles? I mean, he used to be a Dodger. They found him.
Got arrested.
Yeah, sleeping behind.
Was it Orlando or Tampa? It was an airport in Florida. They found him sleeping.
Tampa, but I wouldn't swear to that. Yeah, he left the Dodgers, and nobody in Dodger world that was put in public knew what the heck happened. All we knew is he was having personal issues. Well, yeah, sounds like he is or does or whatever.
Yeah.
And did you see my boy Matt Kemp got cut by the Marlins?
Somebody I thought was going to pick him up that I just saw today.
I don't know. I mean, with expanded rosters, he's got a shot, but I don't know.
It might have been Colorado because of Desmond backing out.
Yeah, he backed out on Monday.
Who did? Ian Desmond?
Ian Desmond, yeah.
Ian Desmond backed out on Monday.
Yeah, so it might have been. I just saw that this afternoon, and I had so much other stuff on my mind trying to get set up for tonight that I didn't jot it down. But I did see that come across, Kemp.
Do either of you, changing subjects a little bit, do either of you play around on DraftKings? I do. I actually own stock in DraftKings just a little bit, and I like to play around on it. Do you guys, do you know?
I used to use DraftKings during football season once in a while, but that's a scam because if you got to have those you don't win. Just picking, you don't win. It's all these guys that have these computer programs, and they're the ones that are winning.
Well, if you play with your buddies, you can take your buddies' money, and that's kind of.
I'd like to do that.
The Westgate Sportsbook is offering odds on the first Astros player to be hit by a pitch in the regular season. Alex Bregman has the shortest odds at 7-2. Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve at 4-1, and then George Springer at 9-2.
I'd say Altuve is number one.
I love that. Tim Brunin, what's going on, my man? How are you? Hope you're having a great night. Yeah, Bax. Kemp ain't going back to LA. The Dodgers have 14 outfielders, and Matt Kemp ain't in the top 20. No way. You were distracted for a few moments. That's all right. We forgive you, Tim. We're glad you're here. So, Bill, I didn't ask you what's your biggest topic. I think Bill Jr. and I are on the same thing. It's the guys opting out, and I suspect the list is going to get longer. I know they said Monday, but what's the biggest news for you?
Oh, just the stuff that I've been reading up on is, they're talking about their teams are allowed to have as many inter-squad games as they want during this, I guess, spring training part 2.
Yeah.
But the Phillies, I know, are splitting their roster up. They're sending part of them up to Lehigh, right near Stacey Rogers, right in her neck of the woods.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's real close to where she lives. I guess I don't know if they're actually going to split, like starters and non-starters, or the minor leaguers that might not be on the 30-man roster when the season starts, and they'll just be on that, I guess, taxi squad you call it, or in waiting squad. But so it should be interesting. And the other thing that just came out as far as playing other teams, I believe they said it's like 3 spring training games that they can schedule with another team, but it's up to the teams that the league's not doing it. And the Yankees and Mets obviously are in talks to have a game or two since they're right across town. I haven't heard anything on the Phillies, what they're going to do, if they're just going to stick to inter squad or if they're going to play another team or not. Have you heard anything on the Dodgers?
No, I really haven't. I mean, I haven't been paying attention too much to the baseball news as it relates the last couple of days. So I know I was following the Tolles thing. I was following the guys opting out, and a couple of the other things. I'm talking about here in a minute. Andrew McCutcheon on your Phillies is actually one of the things I've been following. He's been hilarious. No, I haven't seen.
Yeah. Have you seen his baseball card that came out?
Yes. I mean, I don't own it yet.
Is that hysterical or what?
Have you seen the Will Smith stuff he's doing? Or he did?
No, I haven't seen that. I seen not Instagram, his TikTok thing he was doing with that wipe.
Yeah.
I still can't remember the name of his little alter ego he calls him when he puts that curly
Uncle
wig
Phil.
on. And
I think it's Uncle Phil, wasn't it? No.
It's Uncle something.
Well, he did.
I'll look it up. But yeah, so the thing that Jeff was talking about is tonight at like 6:30 Eastern, he posted on Twitter that he just got into his new rental in Philly.
Yep.
And he said he kind of feels like the last episode of when Will Smith walks in and there's no furniture in the place, and he recreated the photo by his staircase, him just standing there with his hands in his pockets, like looking around. It's hilarious.
I love Kutch. I wish he was
the last episode of Fresh Prince.
I don't even care about the production, which I think he's freaking still going to be solid for you. I really do. But I love the guy. If he doesn't get into TV or radio or a podcast when he's done, I'll be mad because that guy is funny.
I always see his sign in Florida when I would drive from Naples or heading home or heading up to Disney from Naples. I'd have to look it up, but it's on, I believe it's Route 17. When you're driving up through the center of Florida, you come through the town, home of Andrew McCutcheon. He must have grew up there and played high school ball there.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah, it's not too far. That's his name.
Uncle Larry. That's it.
Yeah. Also, we have a trade. Did you guys hear we had a trade?
No, that I didn't hear.
Oh, the A's, the Padres?
Padres and the A's, yeah. Some speedy infielder, I think. Yeah, here we go. On Tuesday, the Padres and the A's.
Jorge Mateo, yep.
Yeah, yes. I'm just looking at that now.
Yeah. Jorge Mateo to San Diego exchange for a player to be in the name later. Mateo was part of the deal that sent Sonny Gray, blah, 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 blah. It's a name I vaguely know. It doesn't excite me too much. Either of you excited about that for the Padres at all? I think I'm a Dodgers fan, and I'm from San Diego, so most of my baseball buddies are Padre fans, and they are all yakking it up. They think they got a shot this year.
I don't know if I can get that to focus in.
Too blurry.
Yeah, it won't focus in, but that's the picture you're talking about. I'm looking at it. It's funny.
The Will Smith,
yeah, he's in his pair of shorts and his hands in his pocket. He's a riot.
Stuff.
So I hope he comes back this year. I mean, that was the downfall of the Phillies last year. They went in the toilet after he got hurt. Their record was never the same.
I would put my money on him being player. What's it? Return. What is that? Comeback guy.
Comeback player.
More obvious to pick than him. I really think he's.
Well, this obviously helped him because he was border. If he wasn't going to start the season in Philly, they were talking about maybe May before he came back. They were going to bring him back slow. Now he's had an extra 3 months. So.
There's a bunch of people that it's helped. I mean, I'm in Texas here. I'm close to the Rangers. I consider myself a quasi Rangers fan. Kluber, that's a good rotation, man. Yeah. Kluber and Minor and the other guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Whatever.
Sounds like you got Bill Senior disease.
I need more coffee. But that's a solid top three right there. I put that up against pretty much anybody in the AL. I mean, the Astros don't have Garrett Cole anymore, so they come back to the pack, in my opinion. They really do. And I do think they get a huge advantage, by the way. I think we should talk about this. The Astros would have been booed mercilessly in every away park, and they won't have to deal with that this year. They don't have to deal with me screaming at them about being a cheater and all the dudes along the outfield. I think it matters. What about you guys?
Well, yeah, that's true. They're not going to be booed, and pretty much they're going to stay. They're going to stay out west,
and they're not going to have people in the stands.
Yeah, I mean they're going to play the NL West. 20 games, and they're going to stay in their division for 40. They're not going to play.
That my Dodgers get a crack at them. I do love that. They're
not going to play. That's the one, but they're not playing the Yankees.
They should do the John Kruk thing, but they should just have two of them. They go up there and they should take it like a little. Whatever that they are.
Now, have you heard the other day? I caught it on the radio. I thought I caught it on the radio. The one game, the full schedule hasn't come out yet, but I heard that the Yankees are going to open up against the Nationals.
Oh, I don't know that really.
Yeah, I think that's the 23rd or the 24th, whatever the first day is going to be. But that's going to be the first game.
Max or Cole versus Strauss. That's pretty.
Probably going to be Scherzer.
Yeah,
I would think. I will be watching that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So explain to me, we talked a little pre-show, and we got people now listening, so let's do this conversation again. Why are your Phillies odds so high to do well this year? Like, did they get a roster transplant that I missed out on? What?
Well, they got a new pitcher from the Mets and Wheeler. McCutcheon's going to be back.
I agree.
I mean, they got a strong pitching staff now, especially Adam Wheeler. I mean, they got a strong three. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with Arrieta, if he's still going to be strong or not. Nola's a top of the line rotation starter.
He wasn't last year, but I think he'll have a good bounce back year too. So that's
and again, the time off. I mean, as far as all teams, the time off is not going to hurt their pitchers. I just want to see what it's going to do next year. I guess they're talking the season's going to be over by the end of October. That was the big thing. I mean, if they'd have went into November and they started the season on time next year, that could have been interesting as far as pitchers and injuries.
Well, I bet that's still up in the air. If the season were needed to go deep, I bet they would just cut into spring training next year and back it up.
I think the biggest thing was the TV didn't want it. I guess because of football and everything else going on. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just crazy. I still say we're not there yet. Baseball has the best shot of completing their season. Football, basketball, hockey, they're going to start, but I can't see them finishing.
Football? Why football?
Well, just the social distancing. They're on top of each other. They're sweating on each other. They're breathing on each other. Same thing with basketball. I mean, guys, when they're running and jumping, stuff comes out of their mouth all the time. Are they going to play with masks? They're not going to be able to breathe. I just even though basketball's in the bubble, I don't know. That still worries me, that part of it. Baseball, I mean, it's a little different.
I think that, I don't know. I'm not going to play a doctor on. I'm not a doctor on. I want to play one on the show here, but I think the concern is probably with the less insanely in shape people here on the planet. I don't think that there's a ton of evidence that people in super, super good physical shape are getting knocked.
Yeah. You haven't heard anything of any of the sports players that have tested positive that they've been real sick or anything like that.
Yeah, again,
but
I don't know. COVID
they're still testing positive, though.
Having it and dying from it are vastly different things.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. That the numbers that we're shutting. Well, I don't want to get into that. I got into an argument yesterday over that. Our governor here in New Jersey told restaurants that they were all going to open. Some of them went out and used their credit cards and all to buy
After
stock.
4 months of no business, no money, you outlay all these dollars so you can bring in me and you to go eat, and all the fish goes bad. What the heck? That's
while this past Saturday he was in a restaurant in Brielle, New Jersey, eating inside, and there's been people had photos of it and taking selfies with people with his arm around them. They were wearing masks, but this far apart from each other. He's do as I say, don't do as I do. But
anyway. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to get into politics, but
I'll be as red as my hat if we keep talking about it. So moving on.
Why are we trusting people that we already know are untrustworthy? That's where I'll do my best to leave it. But anyway, So let's get back to baseball. So what teams do you guys think have the best advantage because of the 60-game truncated season? Bill Jr., you go first.
The best advantage has got to be the Yankees and the Dodgers and potentially the Astros.
Why? Because their rosters are
because of their roster and their pitching rotation. There's less likelihood that somebody in the rotation is going to go down.
Yes.
And the managerial styles can change. It's more of a sprint as opposed to a marathon. 60 games as opposed to 182.
I agree with you, and I'm thinking about my Dodgers. Honestly, I think they've got 8 to 10 starters that they can go with pretty easily. The Yankees, I'm going to push back on. I don't know that I agree with that on the Yankees starting rotation. They've got a bunch of. They've got a guy who, what is he? Did he get a 60-game suspension? That's the whole season, is it now? Isn't it? And then or is it 40? Whatever it is, it's a bigger chunk. And then you've got Severino, who's hurt again, and I don't know. I don't know that. Obviously they got Garrett Cole now, but that rotation was pretty rough last year.
Yeah.
Well, they can take their starters and push them longer into games now, and not having to worry about pitch count throughout the season as much, and lax up on their bullpen. Not having to give them as many innings. So when it comes playoff time, they're a lot fresher than they would be after a 162-game season.
5-man rotation. Everything goes perfect. You only get 12 starts. You're not even necessarily at full strength until start 4, 5, or 6.
With 60 games, the pitchers are only going to be going 5 innings the first couple weeks, with a short get ready time. And I mean, when they have that 30-man roster to start, I forget how long into the season it's going to go, and I think it's going to drop to 29 or 28, and then eventually it'll go to the 26 that it was supposed to be. But they can carry an extra starter. They can go with a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, and a couple teams have said they would. Think about it. 12 starts. If you make all your starts, you're getting 60 innings in. Like what? Nobody's throwing 100 innings this year. Nobody.
No.
So here's where I think it comes into play. Those teams with those young pitchers, say the Padres and a Mackenzie Gore. Think about Strasburg a couple years ago. The Nationals were running towards the playoffs, and they pulled him back. For his career, you can argue about it. That's a whole other conversation. You wouldn't have had to do that this year. So all those teams who have that 4A guy, he's not AAA, he's not Major League, or maybe they don't want to give him the service time, this is the year to go for it, man. You've got a shot. And I do think the Padres are one of those teams that might be able to play there because they've got a bunch of young pitchers. They've got the Chris Paddock kid, who they were probably going to let go anyway. You add Mackenzie Gore to that, and who did they just add? Oh, and you've got I want to say Jeff Weaver, not Jeff Weaver, not Jared Weaver either. Who's the Garrett Richards from the Angels? That all of a sudden looks pretty filthy. And then you add Tatis, and obviously you got Manny. All of a sudden the Padres are filthy. So I don't know. Some of those teams with those 4A pitchers, I mean, I even hear about the Tigers. Now they're not going to be in it, but I hear about Torkelson, who they just signed their first-round pick, and then that stud Casey Mize. They might let him go. Why not? 60 games. I don't really think they'll do it with Torkelson, but I've read a couple things on that.
No, the only player that I've heard at, I think he was picked number 6, and it was a pitcher out of Louisville they were talking about. He was the only one in the draft that they said was pretty much, ready. And I believe that I forget who drafted him. He's on their roster, their 60-man. So he's got a shot.
Who are you talking about?
I'll have to look it up.
Okay. That's right. Tim, that's okay. I do have a different opinion on that, but that's okay. I think we're going to find out, though. Sports is going to probably help us. They're going to be the guinea pigs. They're going to be the social experiment. I mean, if LeBron goes down and gets sick in a serious way, the world probably stops in its tracks. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I don't mind you having a different opinion than me, man. I love you. What else? So go ahead.
I'm curious to see what the Angels do with their top prospect. They're pretty set in the outfield, but what's his name? Joe Adele.
Yeah, he mashes.
Yeah, I'm hoping they give him a shot this year, even if it's the fourth outfielder.
DH looks pretty good to me, especially for
that's Ohtani. He's their DH.
Oh, and they have Pujols too, so that's rough. You're right. Yeah.
That's another thing I want to watch is Ohtani with this extra time. He's been throwing. It had to help him in his comeback from Tommy John. So that's got to help him. I'm curious to see how many innings they're going to wind up throwing him. I'm sure it'll be small. If he pitches 25 or 30 innings, I think it'll be a lot. And then for next year, he should be, fully recovered.
Here's what I wouldn't be betting on this year. One off on who you think is going to win the Cy Young Award, because whoever he is, he ain't pitching 50 innings. I mean,
it could very well be a reliever this year.
Could be anybody. It could be any.
Could be a closer. And they were talking. I heard that this morning. They were talking. What's the guy's name with the long hair for Milwaukee, Bill?
Josh Hader.
Hader. They were talking about he could be a good candidate. In a short season.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Well, and Andrew Moore a couple of years ago, and shoot, the kid the Dodgers got in the Gratterall. Oh, apparently he's filthy. I saw a little video of him. I don't know. That was your Twins, right? You're kind of a quasi Twins.
Yeah. There's a team that could be strong this year in the American League.
I agree. It's a good call. I think we'll have to have one of the shows right before the season. We'll have to do our predictions.
But normally in a regular full season, 60th game is when, like around Memorial Day ish, around that time.
The great guy in Florida used to say, everybody wins 54, everybody loses 54. It's what happens in the other 54. Well, we're basically having a 54-game season.
And a lot of times some teams are strong up until, the summer hits, teams, and then, the lesser teams, and then they drop back. So it should be interesting. It could be a sleeper this year. You don't know.
Yeah. I was hoping they were going to expand the playoffs. I mean, obviously you guys know on the show, I've talked about some of the ideas that I had that would be very Hey, Movie Mania Nick in the house. What's going on, buddy? And they didn't, right? Didn't they come out that they are not expanding the rosters? I'm pretty sure I saw that, or the playoffs. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what the final outcome. They were talking about adding extra teams, and I don't think that's 100% been decided yet.
no, I still think they should. I think that's a great way to make the revenue up and make the owners happy and make the players happy. If that takes away half the teams from even playing, so it just makes sense. So anyway, I don't know. So. What other factors with a shortened season do you think playing a big part in? I mean, the great Joe D had a 56 game hitting streak. We're only playing 60 games. I mean, you could really be hot for 60 games and not even have a good year and still be hot for 60 games. So this is going to change everything from that perspective.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I was just had it in my head here. I was going to say another team to watch out for is the Mets. And I wouldn't even have counted them in. But now Cespedes had more time to get healthy. Now that they're going to have the DH, they just signed Melky Cabrera.
They got Robert again, or back in New York, right?
Yeah, they just signed him, and there was a couple other players that they signed to fill out their 60-man roster. If they get pitching, I mean, they got some nice young bats. If you got Cabrera that can get hot for a little bit as a DH.
DeGrom, right? I mean, he's kind of Sandy Koufax from the right side right now. DeGrom's pretty dang good.
Yeah, and you still got Thor too over there that brings it pretty well. So it could be anybody this year. It's whoever's hot. I mean, usually over the course of a season, like you say, the cream rises to the top. Well, there's not going to be much time for that cream to rise to the top this year. It's whoever starts out hot.
As a Dodgers fan who feels like they got screwed 2 years in a row, it could be a rough one because there's more chance involved this year. There's no doubt about that. But I still think they run away with the West. But what do you do? I don't know. You never know. Well, and then I will push back on this though. The Baltimore Orioles do have zero chance. I mean, zero chance. Like zero.
There's the one that's off the board.
So Tigers too. The Tigers look pretty bad too. I mean, they're coming eventually, but I don't think anybody in the National League stands out to me as just horrible.
What I'm going to be looking at early on, because like Bill was saying, with the managers and all, they got to have tricks up their sleeve in this short season. What's going to happen with the Cubs with with Ross being their manager now this year? Never managed before, and now he's thrown into this. As far as managing, he's going to have some good staff on behind him, pitching coach and all like that, because they're going to have to depend on them a lot this year.
Yeah. Well, I also think the Tampa Bay Rays are one of the teams to look out for. I think everybody's talking about how the Central is going to have the easiest run of it. Somebody's going to have to win and somebody's going to have to lose. So I don't think it matters. I kind of like the condensed schedule. But, I mean, the teams, for me, I'm just looking at the odds right now. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Astros, the Braves. Phillies. I think they are clearly – I'm just looking at the odds. They are the top here.
Phillies are ranked third as far as the odds. Don't shy over them there.
Look at so
unless they've revised them when they first came out.
Where you look, VegasInsider.com's got Phillies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 after the Nationals, the Rays, and the teams.
They went down. They were third when they talked about the season coming back, 60 games.
I've been hearing a lot of people talking about the Reds. I even hear the Rangers a little bit as one of the teams that might have an advantage with the shortened season. I do like the Reds call. I don't think I agree with the Rangers because I look at their offensive. Their lineup looks pretty anemic to me, but I do like the pitching a lot. But
yeah, the Reds, they got a lot of young bats there, and like it could be anybody. Another team that's probably off the board already is the Marlins. We can take the Marlins off the board.
Probably. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If Joey Votto has even 50% better season than he had last year, I think the Reds are in it. I really do. And you're right about the Marlins. Who's the team for you, Bill Jr.? Who are you thinking about?
Honestly, anybody from the NL, because there's that universal DH now, and that's going to carry over into the playoffs. And yes, the playoffs are business as usual. Same thing, 3 per with the 2 wild card, and they're not going to extend it out any. But yeah, like if you got a lot of good hitting and you can mess around with the DH and fool around with your lineup and your pinch hitters, you can be powerful this year coming out of the NL, and especially come playoff time.
Another team in the NL that I think people aren't talking about enough, but they probably will as we get closer, is the Cardinals. That outfield looks good. That's a good team right there.
The Cardinals are even in a rebuilding year. The Cardinals are never that far out of it. I mean,
I
they're
like
just
the Steelers, man. It doesn't matter what's going on; they're going to win.
you got to like the Braves though in the National League with that. It all depends on the youth. If it's the experience has helped out, after last year being in the playoffs, the Braves could in 60 games with a bunch of young kids, they could definitely make a run at it.
Maybe. I mean, Acuna and Freeman had real good years last year. I would suspect they both come back a little bit to the planet. They're actually one of the teams that I think I'll probably take the under on them. I haven't looked at the over-unders, but I'm guessing they're going to pull back this year. I don't love their pitching as much as most people love their pitching, but people are certainly talking about the Braves.
But then you got some players too that are habitual every year, slow starters. Well, this year there's no room for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you got a couple guys on your team that are slow starters, that's going to knock you out of it. Like after about 3 weeks.
I totally agree. We're about the halfway point tonight. Listen, Bush League Baseball is every Tuesday night right here talking baseball, certainly during the baseball season. That's Bill Jr., that's Bill Sr. Bush League Baseball, the channel, is our gig. They've got Magic Mouse, the podcast. Check out their podcast everywhere their podcasts are. Obviously, Magic Mouse TV is their YouTube channel. I'm Dole with Dad over on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. Anything you want to promote in the halfway point here while we're talking about?
No, nothing to promote as far as the other. We have been we've been kind of on a hiatus with that, but we're all the internet trouble and
sure. No, that's all right.
We're just kind of sticking with this for right now.
So everybody in chat, we got 12 in the chat, Nick and Tim and just everybody who's here. Bax, if you're still here, I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think is going to be the big difference this year because of the 60-man season? I think it's going to make for some crazy stuff that we cannot predict, and I'm excited about that. I do think it's funny. We started off, and I want to go back to it. I'm interested to see how the non-fan thing plays out as it relates to the Houston Astros. I think there's one group of people that are more mad than the baseball fans of the Astros, and it's the baseball players. I think people on the Dodgers, Ross Stripling's come out and talked about it. Justin Turner's talked about it. Even Corey Seager, who never says a word, said something. I think, and I'm just a Dodgers fan, so I'm watching that closer. I can't imagine how the Dodgers or the Astros and the Rangers get together and Rougned Odor doesn't end up in the other dugout at some point talking to people about what they did wrong and throwing some haymakers. I just really think it's going to be a bigger – I think that they got lucky on the topic of what could have been a disaster for that franchise, and then all this horrible stuff happened, and it kind of took it off of the front burner of the papers. I think it comes back in a heavy way as soon – hey, Stacy, we were just talking about you, my friend. Hey, Lynn Project, what's going on? I think it comes back in a big way as soon as that first game comes a couple days away, because I don't know who the first pitcher is against them, but he has some pressure on him. And if he gets out of the first inning without buzzing somebody, we'll all lose respect for him. Tell me I'm wrong.
In a normal season, but I mean, they've said no fighting, so we'll see what happens. Teams can't afford to have a player suspended 4 or 5 or 6 games. And
so I've joked about this on the show. I'm going to tell you the truth with no joke. If you don't put the 30th guy on the roster, the pitcher, the dude throws really freaking hard, and if he doesn't become your opener for that day,
that very well could be. That very well could be.
Every team, every season, the whole rest of the season should do that. I'm telling you, they should just do it. They should.
That's the only smart way to do it, because you can't afford – I mean, you couldn't afford to have Kershaw come in the first game playing against them and get thrown out of the game.
Bruce Sadar, Gratterall, or whatever his name is, and let him buzz the guy and just wave and leave and start up again. I mean, I'm not even playing. I think they should, but I know they won't. But where your ears burning, Stacy? Pick. Hey, Lynn. Hey, the Lynn Project. Yeah, we have the Lynn Project in here. We got Stacy Rogers in here. Welcome in, guys. So glad to see you. Love you for being here. Anyway, I'll keep talking. Bill Jr., I feel like I stepped on your words there. Were you going to say something right there?
No, I mean, yeah, just you bring the reliever in that throws like 101, but is wild, quote unquote, and let him buzz the tower to, do a little Top Gun action and buzz the tower, make him spill coffee over himself. And all right, see you guys in 4 or 5 days. It's not going to really hurt your bullpen that much.
Couldn't we do it 60 straight days? Yes, we could.
Yeah, bring the minor league guys to go hard in.
This is the world this year.
I mean, come on, you could do it. You got a 60-man, they got the taxi squad. I mean, what would they do? Hey, you need to stop that. You know what? Shut up. How about that? That's what I say. I do have this hat. It's way off topic, and I was going to try to get you to talk about Mike Trout. So, hey, Mike Trout, talk about him, because I want to show you something.
What do you got? The Trout hat with the clapping? Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is this the most ridiculous thing ever? But I had to get it.
Yeah, that was a giveaway at the stadium. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was a giveaway.
I probably need to burn my hair now, but anyway, pretty cool. It's pretty great in the craziest, weirdest way. I would like to get him to autograph it, but
Yeah. No, Stacy and Chad here. No, Stacy, I was talking about the Phillies. They're talking of splitting their roster, and some of them in the spring training, rather than have all 60 players down in Philadelphia, they're going to send some of them up to Lehigh, I've heard.
That's a lie. Bill, tell the truth. He was telling me that, Stacy, you reached out to him and you admitted your fault and your sorrow for being a Philadelphia.
I'm waiting until this is all over. I owe Stacy a lunch at a sub shop. Noelle that comes into your chats on the weekends. She owns a good sub shop like 5 minutes from where I'm sitting right now.
Okay, I guess we'll talk about that, but I didn't know what we're talking about. There you go.
Yeah, her and her husband. So I'm waiting for all this clears. I told Stacy I owe her lunch one day when she gets down this way because she used to live here.
I love that. Please don't wear that public. What? Then you like it. It's hard. I feel like all of a sudden I go from me to a trucker like that. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
My grandpa would love this. My grandpa loved fishing, so he would like this.
That's a good fishing hat. Put a couple lures, through the mouth of the fish there. There you go.
I think. And it also, I'm a grandpa times 3 now, so that looks like a grandpa hat if I ever saw one. Jeff, did you hit your head again? Only when I'm raising the roof. No, my aunt lived down there. Oh, there you go. Very cool. Very cool.
She spent a lot of time in the summer down here, so that's the same thing.
Hideous. Jeff, truckers wouldn't even wear that hat. Whatever. You ever hang out? You're on a trip and you hang out. What are those truck places called? It's like 4 or 5 different. It's like 7-Eleven for truckers. There's like a whole bunch of them. I can't think of the name of any of them, but they're fun. I guarantee they sell this hat there. Am I making any sense?
Oh, I probably do. That definitely looks like something they'd sell there. I've seen a bunch of them going down 35 and then I-95 on the East Coast. I know what you're talking. Loves they got those down here. And there's a bunch of different ones across the country.
You can buy a tire, you can take a shower, you can buy a hat, you can buy
truck gets oil changed, you go take a shower, grab a sandwich.
They'll fry up a cricket or a burrito or whatever you need. Good stuff. All right, so what other baseball news? I've got a bunch of other things here. I wanted to look at the Major League futures. I do want to point out my Dodgers are right on the top, as it should be. Next, Astros, Braves. We already talked about it a little bit, but at the bottom, who do you think's at the bottom?
It's got to be
bottom of the barrel.
It's got to be Baltimore.
It's 3 teams with the same number. It's actually the Orioles, the Tigers, and the Marlins, who we all talked about.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. The team next up is actually a team I've heard people talking about that might have a shot. Seattle Mariners. I think the Seattle Mariners. Hey, Mick, a Pilot. Exactly. Pilot's one of them. Exactly, Mick. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for. I've actually heard people talking about the Marlins, and I don't get it. I think actually maybe they're confusing them with the Devil Rays potentially, but the Marlins don't look really good to me. But I do think it's a good year if you're one of those teams, because you're not going to win anyway. So you just get to play the kids, or you get to let the kids do whatever they need to do. The problem is, and this goes to what you talked about, Bill Jr., when we were talking about the draft, the guys who aren't major leaguers aren't going to progress this year. Like, if you're not on the 60-man or whatever they end up doing, what the heck? Like,
well, I did see a lot of independent league teams are firing up, and some of the teams that play the major league, clubs that have their rights have given, I don't know if it's all of them or some of them, permission to try and sign on with an independent team, at least get some playing time in this summer.
I mean, people have batting cages and you can throw to your buddy and all that, but it's not the same. You're not that far away from the playing days. I mean, hitting on the cage, hitting off the tee, it's not the same as, real life.
No, you could do all the work in the world you want in the cage. They have these simulators now that they simulate the pitcher actually throwing the ball, and then when the ball's released, here comes the pitching machine at 96 or however hard that pitcher's throwing. They change it all up. It still doesn't take into account the game and the nerves you're feeling. And, I mean, you could stimulate all you want. It's not going to really matter. Like, it helps, yeah, but it's not going to matter come game time.
Improve your swing and all those things, but it's not a year of development.
It's not the same. It's not coming up in the 9th inning after a 2.5, maybe even 3 hour long, it's
not learning how to grind when you've got a migraine or you broke up with your girlfriend or it's only the
I got an idea for the Marlins, and what do they have to lose? Lynn's not far away, in chat here. She's not far away from the Marlins. She can take her waffle ball bat and head on down to Miami, and she might have a shot at getting on the roster.
I feel like Derek Jeter should actually put a uniform on. Why not? I mean, he's probably we're talking about 30 dudes. He could probably still make of course he could make the 30-man roster in Miami. I mean, what am I even saying? He probably could. A-Rod. Tell me A-Rod couldn't come back and a couple home runs.
Speaking of the rosters, what I was talking about earlier, I just found it. It says when the season opens July 23rd or 24th, teams will submit up to 30 players with a minimum of 25. 2 weeks later, the rosters will be trimmed to 28, and then 26 2 weeks after that. So after the first month, they'll be down to 26. And then once teams are limited to a 26-man roster, they can be permitted to carry a 27th if they're playing a doubleheader.
So I read, in addition to that, this is a couple of weeks now, so it could have been modified since then. They were talking about a taxi squad in addition to that. Am I right? Is that a thing?
Well, that's part of the 60-man roster. They're going to be playing, scrimmage games and stuff like that. And if somebody gets hurt,
60-man organization. Is that really?
Yeah, so the one last thing on that, usually there's a limit amount of pitchers. There's no limitation on the number of pitchers allowed on the active roster.
Oh, wow, okay. So what happens to the double A and the single A and the single A and the rookie ball and the rookie ball and the split squad? What happens to all that?
Well, a lot of them are going to go because a lot of teams are talking about, trimming their minor leagues. A lot of minor league teams are going to go bye-bye.
Can they go to Korea? Can they go to the East? Can they play?
Well, not this year.
For that?
They're at least half or more into their season over in Korea, and I don't know Japan. And I don't know. And that was a big thing too with this year with the 5-round draft because they haven't come out with a number yet, and they were talking about it in spring training. But there's a lot of minor league teams that were worried that they were going to lose their affiliation.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we've got about 18 minutes left. I didn't ask you pre. Are we doing trivia tonight?
No, I thought I sent you that text. I didn't too much other stuff going on and trying to get set up here.
Like to do trivia, you and versus your son, because I might.
You throwing a curve on me here? A little get back time, huh?
Well, check your throw back in the day. My fastball was pretty weak, so.
Yeah, I think I'd stand in there on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, fastball or the trivia.
Yeah, either.
If I hit you, you were in the box in high school, and I hit you, you just laughed at me and ran to first. So it is what it is. I could pitch, but I couldn't throw hard. I mean, for a pitcher. Anyway, would you like some trivia? Because I've got a theme that I think you'll enjoy.
Okay. Phillies, Dodgers.
Bill Jr., are you up for it?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, I'll just let you both blurt it out. If you agree, you agree. Bill Jr. will go first on the first one. Bill Sr. will go first on the second one. We'll do 10 questions. Bill Jr. goes first on 5. Bill Sr. goes first on 5. You can agree with the person or disagree.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Who hit the most postseason home runs in Los Angeles Dodgers history? Adrian Gonzalez, Steve Garvey, Ron Cey, or Duke Schneider?
I'd have to say Duke Snyder.
You're Bill Sr.
Okay.
Oh, you can take this one first. So you got Snyder? Okay.
We'll let him go first then. Bill Jr., you can take the same one
I got seniority, I told him.
I mean, and
told him that years ago.
Yeah, everything else in life, he's got seniority.
That's the senior and the junior. I got seniority.
Akon, the great Steve Garvey, Ron Say, Duke Schneider. What say you, Junior?
I'll go with the first one. I'll go with Gonzo.
Gonzo is wrong. Duke Schneider for the win. Duke Schneider makes your dad up 1-0.
I was going to say him or because they played in a lot of playoffs back then. They were always in a lot of World Series. Gonzalez, he didn't play a lot. In the 70s, Garvey, I could have went there or the Penguin also, but Snyder they played in a lot of playoffs in the 50s.
They did. Well, that was the classic guy. I mean, 55 was their first World Championship. And
all right, I'm done. I'm on the injured list. I'm batting 1,000. I'm on the injured list.
I hit the wrong button, so you're gonna have to. Anyway, hold on. Just hang for a minute. I hit the wrong button. Well, you know what? I can just pull up the stats. Let's just pull up Dodger stats. Hold on.
That's fine.
So, see, and I can't even spell either. This is going to be more difficult if I hit the wrong buttons and I can't spell. So Bill Sr. is up 1-0. Let's see how we go. Now, question number 2. Now, you going to let your son go first this time, or are you just going to jump in there again?
Okay. I thought it was like that you hit the buzzer, first one jumps in.
A Family Feud, yeah.
I mean, we can do that. I don't care. All right, position players, and yes, this is Dodgers because I'm the Dodger fan. I want to see what you guys know about the Dodgers. Position players, not hitters. Position players. WAR. If you don't know what WAR is, it's wins above replacement. It's one of the best stats to compare the best players of all time. WAR. Dodgers. Tell me who has the largest WAR ever. Is it Roy Campanella? Is it Jackie Robinson? Is it Duke Schneider? Or is it Pee Wee Reese? Bill Jr. Campy, Robinson, Schneider, or Pee Wee Reese? Which one do you think has the largest all-time WAR?
I'm going to go with Jackie.
Jackie, Dad.
Well, I think we can throw out Pee Wee Reese. It's Snyder, Robinson, Campanella, and who was the other one?
It was Campy, Robinson, Schneider, and Pee Wee.
Well, I don't think it could be Campanella because he didn't really play a full career because he had his accident. I'm going to go with Snyder again.
Duke Schneider. And what did you say, Bill Jr.?
I went with Jackie Robinson.
I'm throwing a shutout on that one. It was the great Pee Wee Reese, 68.2. Now, this
really
is a thing, yeah. So Duke Schneider had an offensive WAR of 68.1, but an overall WAR of 65.
Adding the defense in.
Pee Wee had 68.2, making him.
I think Mike Trout passed that number like in his 4th or 5th season. How many years did Pee Wee play?
A lot. Let's go to home runs. Same team because, they're the best team ever. Most home runs, Dodgers history. Dodgers history. Is it the Penguin? Ron Say. Is it Eric Karros? Is it Gil Hodges? Or is it the great Duke Schneider? Say Karros, Hodges, Snyder, Bill Sr. I guess you're going first this time.
I'll go with Hodges.
Hodges, Junior.
Yeah, I'll go with Hodges too.
I'm throwing shutouts. It's the great Duke Schneider, 389.
Yeah. Well, Hodges wasn't far behind. He was in the 300s for his career.
361. Eric Karros, actually a holder for LA Dodgers home runs at 270. Can't be 242, say 228. We are at a 1-0 score. This is rough.
Now, do you have any questions that actually come from real baseball teams, or?
Yes, this next one you're gonna like even better.
Yeah. Okay.
Staying with the Dodgers.
Okay.
On the offensive side, who has backs? I'm looking at you, buddy. Who has the most strikeouts as a hitter? Struck out the most in history for the Dodgers. Is it Eric Karros, Gil Hodges, Duke Schneider, or Matt Kemp? Karros, Hodges, Schneider, or Duke or Matt Kemp? I don't know why I said Duke Kemp. That would be a cool nickname.
I'm going to go with Kemp.
Kemp.
Yep.
What do you say, Dad?
Who was the other one besides Snyder and Hodges?
Karros, Hodges, Snyder, and Kemp.
I don't think Karros was a big strikeout guy. I'm going to go with Kemp too.
It is Kemp. You both get it right. 1179. All four that I mentioned were the top four this time, and they all had over 1,100 strikeouts. That's crazy. Kemp didn't even play his whole career there. Andre Ether is 5. I wouldn't call him.
Karros, I know he was a good player for them, but he didn't finish his career there either, right? Didn't he finish with San Diego? What?
He might have had a year there, but he was with the Cubbies for a while.
Okay. Because he only played about 10 years with the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, that feels right. Something like that. Let's get over to the pitching. And yes, we're going to stay with the Dodgers because I know you want me to. I love your nose.
I think I got to go outside. There's some grass that I think I can watch grow in the moonlight here tonight.
Dodgers pitching war. Again, wins above replacement. I'm going to tell you the top 4. You tell me which one is number 1. Mm-hmm. Is it Clayton Kershaw already? Is it the great Dazzy Vance? Is it Don Drysdale? Or is it Sandy Koufax? Kershaw, Vance, Drysdale, Koufax. And I am naming the top 4 this time on purpose. I didn't put in there a Don Sutton or Earl Hershiser to try to throw you off. I don't remember who goes first this time, honestly.
I'm going to go. It's either Kershaw or Drysdale because Whatchamacallit didn't play a full career. He retired early.
You don't think it's Koufax is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great pitcher, but I forget what his number of years were, but I know he retired early. Yeah, I'm going to go with Drysdale.
Drysdale? What do you say?
I'll go with Kershaw.
So Kershaw is right, 65.3.
Really?
Dazzy Vance is second. Then you got Drysdale at 61.3, and then Koufax all the way down at 53, but still fourth.
Yeah. How many years did he wind up playing?
Koufax?
Yeah.
Well, his rookie card was 55, and his last season was
he retired in 66.
Yeah.
So he played 11 years. Yeah, I thought he retired early, but I didn't realize it was that early.
Well, and truly, 55, 56, 57, even 58, he wasn't a good pitcher yet. He was kind of Randy Johnson before Randy Johnson was.
Talking about him real quick, when I what's his name? On Golick and Wingo, he comes on in the morning. I think it was Kirchin. He was saying a couple years ago he talked to Frank Robinson about pitchers that he went up against in his career, and how did he hit against Bob Gibson? Oh, I hit him good, and talked about all these other pitchers. And then they brought up last one. He said Koufax. He says nobody hit him good.
No, when he was in his year 63 through 66, he was elite. I mean, I'll just say it. I was going to do a question about it, but Koufax WAR 63, 10.7. Koufax WAR 66, 10.3. That's unheard of. I mean, the great Zach Greinke had an insane year in 2015. He had an 8.9. So that's a full two games. That's
Frank Robinson, the greatest hitter as he was, he said that was his toughest pitcher he's ever faced.
Saves, closer. The great Eric Gagne had 55, 52, and 45 in 02, 03, and 04. But somebody had 47 to put him in third. Who would that be? Who goes first?
I don't even really follow the Dodgers, so I mean, it's got to be somebody more recent, because years ago the closers didn't get those kind of saves.
Any guess?
Well, it's probably the one that I'd say the one that they have now. I forget his name. The one that used to be the catcher.
Kenley Jansen?
Yeah, that would be my only guess.
You're absolutely right. That was too easy, wasn't it? Jansen, 47. They had some interesting guys. They had Todd Worrell. They had Jeff Shaw. They even had a guy named Takashi Saito who had 39. But they've had some great years. That year, I guess it was 02 and 03. Yeah, where Gagne got 52 and 55 saves in a row. He was throwing whipple balls up there, man. It was crazy. That curve thing he did. Obviously, he was on roids, but pretty amazing stuff. I don't even know what the score is. We can get off the Dodger trivia, but that was fun. I wanted to see if I can get you guys on a little Dodger trivia. I know how much you enjoy Dodgers history. I'm talking to you, Bill Senior.
Yeah, I kind of like mid 70s. I don't know. Did the Dodgers even play back then? I know they
70s. Yeah, 74 World Series, 77 World Series, 78 World Series. Yeah, I think they did it right.
Yeah, and they killed my Phillies 3 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, one of these, my favorite set, my 77 top set. I love the NL championship cards because it's, my Dodgers thumping on your Phillies. It makes me happy. Poor Larry Boa just watching the Dodgers run around the bases. Mick says, I know I am joining the conversation late, but the season of 60 games is not MLB baseball. Not really a fan, and probably my interest will be limited. Fake MLB. I mean, 60 is better than 0, man. I'll hear back tomorrow. Dim delays. I don't know what that means. I do hope it works out. I think you guys are having a conversation. I don't know what that's about. Dubious if Braves cash in. Yeah. Bill, are you sure Jeff didn't hit his head before the stream started? Phillies are the greatest team ever. Are they? They're actually more close to the worst team ever, and I'm not even kidding. Here, let's just pull it up.
For a while there, the Phillies were like at the top for most losses in franchise history. I think they were the first team if they weren't the first, they were the second to have 10,000 losses, I think.
I'm going to pull it up right now. I think they're probably the team with the most losses. Let's find it.
I'm pretty sure they were the first team to hit 10,000 losses.
Oh, I'm pulling it up, and it's actually pitchers. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. How can I find this? No. All right, how about this? MLB all-time win-loss record. Stacy, I think we're going to have some bad news coming up here. 6 minutes left. Let me see if I can pull this off. Making everybody watch me pull something up. List of all. Here it is. Here it is. Bill Jr., is your favorite team also the Phillies? Did your dad ruin your whole baseball life with that, or no?
One of my earliest baseball memories is being in my dad's season tickets down the first baseline in my little like toddler Phillies jersey at Veteran Stadium. Actually, I think
Hang on a
it was
second.
at Veteran.
So it wasn't
That was a
officially
good one.
child abuse to put you in a Phillies jersey when you were a kid back then, like it should be now.
Yeah, I mean, I just grew up a Phillies fan, and then I actually enjoyed the Baltimore Orioles a lot. So they were my AL team just because
Just
of
get
Cal
plugged
Ripken
back in
Jr.
here so I can hear you.
That's
One of my
rough.
top baseball players of all time.
Who is it?
Cal Ripken Jr.
I do love me some Ripken.
Yeah.
I feel bad
One
for
of my
him.
favorite ball players ever. Him and like Joe DiMaggio.
Let's see if I can get this in focus.
What am I looking at? Oh, that's pretty cool.
He was about, I'd say 2 or 3. That was his first Phillies game.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. What's also really cool is there's only one team in the history of Major League Baseball, only one, to have 11,000 losses. They actually have exactly 11,000 losses, making them the team that's lost more games than anyone else ever. And it ain't the Dodgers, people. It ain't the Dodgers. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. Does that hurt you?
No, because I know back when they weren't a good team, but they've definitely been a lot more exciting lately in the last 20 years.
It used to be like the Yankees minor league team. Everybody used to just go from the Phillies to the Yankees and become superstars. Am I right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about. Yeah. So honestly, they well, I mean, they almost have 10,000 wins. Their record is 472. That's not good, but it's here. Let's pull that up. What's the word? If I look at the winning percentage, the Padres are actually the worst at 461. The Padres are in 30th. The Marlins 29th, Rays 28th, Rockies 20. Well, the Rockies and the Phillies are basically tied at 470.
Yeah, but that's winning. That's just winning percentage. You just got to go with total losses and all.
Well, total losses. The Padres have been a worse franchise, but they've only been around since '69. The Marlins even less.
Right.
The Phillies also are the leader in a random stat. Let me see if I've got this right. Oh no, I'm wrong. So I'll ask you this: wins and losses. Everybody knows, right? What Major League Baseball team has the most draws? Which I didn't even know was a thing.
Ties. That I would have no idea. I guess back in the day they played to a tie. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't tell you when the last on purpose tie was.
How about this? I'll tell you the team, and you guys guess the number. See who gets closest. Ready? It's the Giants. How many do you think they have?
25.
25? What do you think, Bill Jr.?
I'll go with 40.
163.
That must have been early on. Then that must have been a rule. Maybe they didn't play extra innings.
Yes, I don't know.
I'd be curious to find that out.
Well, that's a good segue to. Did you see what we're doing in extra innings? We're putting to do it on second to finish up the season. What do you guys think about it?
I think that's pretty cool, actually, putting a runner on second. It puts a little bit more pressure on the pitchers coming in. It's kind of like in the NHL when they have one, 3-on-3 overtime period, and then they go right into a shootout. And all right, let's get this over with.
Yeah,
I don't know, try it out. It's a shortened season. There's already going to be asterisks on the World Series winner anyway. So
it ensures that games don't go 18 innings. I think that's a good play with our roster situation this year. I think it makes sense. Are you both? I want to hear both.
Can I be blunt?
Yeah,
I think it sucks. But for this year, I can see it because they don't want a lot of extra inning games, and I kind of agree with that with the pitching and all like that. But if that rule continues, I think it sucks.
I don't think it'll continue past this year, but it is pretty cool.
All this stuff that Major League Baseball is trying to change, they're saying the average age of the fan of baseball is me and you, Jeff, late 40s and 50s. And they're trying to get the young kids. Well, the young kids today, they don't have an attention span of a gnat. So
I agree.
I don't know what they're trying to get. I don't know what they're trying to do. I mean, all these rule changes are just, it worked for almost 150 years, a lot of these things. And all of a sudden we're going to change everything now.
As a baseball nut, I would push back this way. Did it work? Why are we losing viewers so hard to all the other sports if it's working?
That I couldn't tell you. The only rule that I agreed with in the last couple of years that they've done is keep the batter in the batter's box. These guys, every pitch, getting out with their gloves and adjusting everything known to man. and then getting back in and up ball. Let me step out and do it all over again.
Remember Mike? Hey, Lynn, have a great night. I appreciate you being here. Remember Mike?
Yeah, like no more Garcia Parra. He was the human rain delay.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I do. I think I'm a purist on a lot of things. I do like baseball more than the average person, though. I think what I like best, and probably Bill, what you like best, in my never swim opinion, is probably not what the general public likes best. I think
the only other new rule that I'm kind of for it, because I got tired of these pitchers coming in for one pitch, getting it out.
Same, yes. The Tony La Russa
coming out of these specialty. I do like that change.
And Tony La Russa, and now Joe Mann, and so many of them do it. I like to pitch to 2 batters. Is it 2 batters? I think it's
3. I think it is, or the end of an inning. I mean, if they only pitch, if they come in and it's the end of the inning, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure it's 3 batters. That one I'm okay with.
It does hurt all those lefties, those Andrew Millers. I mean, maybe Andrew Miller and Josh Hader don't fit, but all those dudes who are just there to get out that one lefty, their careers just went.
Yeah.
How come there's no right-handed sidearm relievers? I mean, since Quisenberry and Tekulve, I mean, you got the lefties that throw down at the slot to get out that big left-handed power hitter in the 9th inning and the 8th inning, the 7th inning. How come there's no righties just throwing from the, the Dennis Eckersley side slot?
I don't know. I used to love Tekulve too. Even he played with Pittsburgh and then he played with the Phillies for a while.
Wiz was great.
Yeah, there was more back. You don't see a lot of that. And another thing you don't see a lot of anymore is you don't see a real lot of knuckleball pitchers anymore.
Well, that's right. You see them in Asia, though. Those sidearmers in Asia are still.
Wow. I've been watching a lot of the Korean baseball. It's good, but that's double. The pitching over there is horrible. I won't say the starting pitching. The relief pitching over there is horrible.
The pitching depth is nil. Yes.
Yeah. But it's been fun to watch it. And, the announcers have been doing a good job. And they've been bringing other people in as guests to talk to them a little bit. But I need real baseball. To me, that's about Double-A over there, I think.
Pass holder pair in the house. What's going on? How are you? Yeah, I agree. Yankees, Red Sox games seem to last 6 hours. I love baseball. I do think it's too slow of a game. I don't think it's too slow of a game for Jeff Bates, the fan. I do think it's too slow of a game for every human that I bounce into.
Now, to me, a great baseball game to go see for me is a 1-0 shutout. But a lot of people, it just bores the hell out of them. They want the action, They rather have, but then you can't have it both ways. If you got a 10-9 or a 10-8 game, well, that's going to take longer to play. You got more batters coming.
But come on, the great Tom Glavine and the great Greg Maddux taught us on ESPN commercial, whatever. Chicks love the long ball, man. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I like it too, but there's nothing better, than a good 1-0 game. But J.R. Richards, I used to watch it a lot when he was with the Astros and the Phillies with Carlton. When him would go, would go head to head, and also the guy we talked about a few weeks ago that used to play with the Padres. The pitcher back in the 70s there that you said had your dad took him to his car wash.
Randy Jones, yeah.
Randy Jones. He was another one. Steve Carlton, they were just great games
Randy
to watch.
Jones did 80 miles an hour. I am a CrossFit champion. There's no way he did. And he was brilliant.
Yeah.
That guy.
They're just fun games to watch. And of course, the high run game is fun once in a while, but I don't know what it's going to take, but the long 3-4 hour games, that I can see them doing what they can to try and cut back. And a couple of the rules that they did in the last year or so, it kind of helped. I think a lot of the games what was it, like 2 hours and 27 minutes, I think was the average. I think last year, somewhere in that neck of the woods.
I don't know. I did read somewhere that they were going to talk about doubleheaders and keeping both games on the doubleheader at 7 innings. That would probably make me go apoplectic, but
that's high school baseball right there.
I agree. It is not. Yes, it really is. I don't have a problem with the thing at second base. I thought it
for this year. I don't
matter
going forward. I think it sucks.
Look and I want your opinion on this, Bill Jr. Because I haven't let you jump in there. But I'll end my opinion on this with that. I'm okay with having ties. I would be play 10 innings, be done with it. I'm even okay with. I don't know. It wouldn't bug me. Let's put it that way. I think it would make for some intrigue. I do not like at the end of the year 162 and it ends up a tie. And I think if they had ties during the season, that would be less likely. So maybe a 10th inning fully played and then that's it. call it ball game. That's the way to go for me.
I do agree with. I know Bill had something to say there, but Pass Holder Pair had a thing in chat about the commercials. They need to come up with a better solution for the commercials, because a lot of times the players are ready to go and they're not back from commercial.
Is that even hard? Stay there. Put the commercials on the screen. What do we got? 8,000-year-old crusty dude running this is how hard is this?
They do it all the time. They just bring the commercial up next to it, and then they have golf still going on right next to the commercial, and then when the commercials are done, they blow it back up.
They do that, or I understand that pays the bills. I mean, they pay a lot of money for baseball. They need the commercials. I understand
more commercials that way.
Yeah, that way, or also in the 7th inning stretch. That's usually a longer half inning. Throw in an extra commercial or two then. Don't do it every inning.
Keep the TV on the game the whole time. Some of the best stuff happens in between. You know what I hate? When there's a close call at the end of a play, or there's an argument and they cut away for 3 minutes. I don't get to know.
NASCAR's doing that now with their commercials. I'm pretty sure all the time, aren't they, Bill? That
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we need to get some technology where we can opt in. We need to get to the Google AdWords model where I'm watching a commercial for stuff I care about, because that brings in the revenue. The technology is available. What do we need? Elon Musk to figure this out? I'm telling you, the problem with baseball is the same problem that is with the NCAA and football. Old crusty dudes who don't, and I know I'm an old crusty dude, so I can say that. Old crusty dudes who don't want change. The NCAA has been dead for 30 years. They're just too dumb to know it. Major League Baseball is on the way if they're not careful. So many good opportunities that don't involve screwing my game. I do want to ask one more thing before that we go. And Bill, I feel like I stepped on you again, but the DH, you guys care that it stayed in the NL? I'm a purist. I didn't like it originally, but it's stupid to have one league, not the other. We've lost the fight. Let's just have it everywhere.
That's probably the one that bothers me the least, and especially for this year, and I'm pretty sure that was the one that's going to be next year also.
If you want the game to go faster, you don't want a DH. That's easy to understand, right? Like, I don't know why.
Yeah, I've never understood why it was in one and not the other. And
well, it was an experiment, and that started in '74. You know what? How many people? Me and you were here, Bill, but hardly anybody who's watching the show right now and is a baseball fan right now was alive in '74. I am totally crusty. Pass Holder Pair. What do you think, Bill Jr.? I want to hear from you.
So the DH, I like that it's going to be the NL, mainly because I'm an NL East fan, and the Phillies are in the NL East. So we have a really good opportunity to get one of our young guys a lot of burn this year, and Alec Baum, and he could step in against left-handed pitchers because he's a righty, give Jay Bruce time off from the DH, and maybe put him in the outfield. I know we're going to have Heasley in center doing time with Roman Quinn, and then hopefully McCutcheon's in left, and we have Bryson right, but he can also supplement McCutcheon or Harper when Baum is DHing against the lefty. So I think it's going to work out really well for NL teams, especially the Phillies. And Dad, I can't believe at the beginning of this entire episode you didn't bring up the biggest change that helped the Phillies out the most is sending Kepler to San Francisco. Like that's why we skyrocketed in the rankings, because our manager's gone.
Yeah,
that's exactly why we shot up the list.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him like I miss a toothache.
I don't know.
I'd rank him right up there with New Jersey's governor right now.
I like Kepler. I've heard him talk. I agree with a lot of the stuff that he said that I believe he believes, but he did a horrible job managing last year. Horrible.
He was the big reason why they supplemented this new pitching rule where you have to come in to face more than one batter, because he'd take a starter out after pitching like 2 1/3, bring a reliever in to pitch against one batter, bring another reliever in to pitch against another batter, and then bring another reliever in to go long, maybe 2 innings, and then it was insane.
Yeah, I was over him the first 10 games of the season his first year in Philadelphia 2 years ago.
History of my life has had a worse first 2 weeks on the job than him.
They played the Braves that season. They played home and home. I think they played them like 12 games within the first 2 weeks. They played the Braves. And he probably cost the Phillies at least 4 games from knucklehead, pulling guys out too early. But getting back to what you were saying about the DH this year, I think you're going to see a lot more offense in the National League this year. That's for sure.
Extends the length of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with, but we're trying to.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot. I mean, there's some good hitters in the National League. There's not a lot, but
I think it gives an advantage to the Dodgers and to the National League team that makes the World Series, because it's less of a change for them. It's always been an advantage in the World Series for the AL team since we've had this. It's a stupid way to do a 2 leagues. First of all, do we really need the leagues? That's probably an argument that I bet me and you, Bill, would disagree on. But we don't have them this year, do we? I mean, it's pretty silly. So anyway,
not because of the schedule. It's going to be NL East is going to be playing their teams in their division 10 times, and then basically AL East the rest of the time for like 4-game stretches against the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles.
Central or the NL East at all?
What's that?
Does the NL West play the NL Central and the NL East at all?
Nope. They play everybody within their division, and the Dodgers are going to play the NL West, and they're going to play the AL West.
So there's no National League and American League at all this year except for in name.
Well, yeah, there's going to be American National League games this year because the Dodgers are going to play the AL West.
The National League West will be played within the National League West and the National League East. There's 3 different leagues this year.
Yeah, they're really
Central. That's what we have this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to work out for the Twins because they don't have to play the Yankees so much. They're not going to play them at all. So that'll be nice.
All the bad teams. I think the Indians come out. I'm sorry, the Twins come out, and the Indians the best because one of them is making the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting. Good stuff.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, we went a little long. Anything you guys want to say before we close up and thank everybody in chat and all those things?
No, I'm good. Hopefully everything worked out tonight here, and we'll get back to normal in the not too distant future. We'll see what happens.
I hope everybody in chat had fun. I know that we were away for 2 weeks, so I knew we'd have a little downturn in numbers tonight, but I think the conversation was great. I hope you guys in chat did. Bill Jr., what from you to end the evening?
Yeah, just thanks for joining us again, everybody. I finally got a little boom mic my dad sent me. It's set up, working well. I don't have my clunky headset on anymore. I'm just excited to actually get back into baseball and watching it again. And
now you need to get a good hat collection now.
I'm tired of playing the show.
Right.
Real ball.
I didn't ask you about your jersey, by the way, before we let you go. What's going on your jersey? That looks pretty sweet.
Stand up, Bill.
Oh, yeah. So this is my high school JV jersey that I found in a box somewhere. And I don't know how I got it and how I was able to keep it, but I kept it.
Now, so what makes me sick, can I just say something, Jeff? What makes me sick about that? Stand up a little bit, Bill. He said his high school JV. So he was like 14 or 15 years old, and the freaking thing's still loose on him, and he's 29.
Yeah, mine I'd be Winnie the Pooh with me at mine. Belly. Yeah, we got to keep our football jerseys, and I mean, I'll in a box somewhere in the garage or whatever. But we didn't get to keep our baseball jerseys. I remember Coach Layton, high school baseball. I love you, Coach Layton. Hope you're still doing good. Love you. He was a big Yankees lunatic, and so we had pinstripes, which I didn't like because I was a Dodgers fan then too. But they did look pretty freaking cool. They did pinstripes.
If I wore my stuff from when I was in high school, I was 6'5" and 150 pounds. I don't have a little sister, but if I did, it would look like I had her half shirt on.
6'5", 150.
Yeah, when I graduated high school, I was 6'5", 155.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That's why he's goalie on the soccer team. He can move around really quick, and he put his arm up. He touched the crossbar.
Yeah, right, like a beanpole. Wow.
Yep.
Huh. Well, I got a bunch of jokes about that, but we'll have to save those for now. 6'5", 150.
And out of the 155 pounds, probably 20 of it was my feet weight.
Got to tell one more weight story. Football. So going into our senior year, my buddy Chuck Wood, that was really his name, I swear. How much wood would Chuck? His name was actually Chuck Wood. Anyway, great guy. Love him to death. Chuck, I know you're not listening, but I love you. Anyway, he was on the JV team his junior year. He was really excited to be on the varsity team. We go to weigh-ins, right? You're gonna turn your head and cough. You're gonna do all the things, and they weigh you, and that weight is going to be what they put in the the program. So dude loaded up on everything he could drink all day long. He had his pockets full of quarter or pennies. He wanted to weigh as much as he could. And so he finally gets on the scale. And the second he gets off the scale, he sprints to the bathroom because he had all the water one body could hold in an attempt to get, more than 6'5", 150. He was 5'11" or 6 foot, whatever he weighed. But I don't know. That always stuck with me. I was pretty.
This one here I see what he's doing, and I saw the color. This is really This is really going to make you sick when he puts this jersey on.
What do we got going on?
This is the same undershirt too that I used to wear with this.
That's the shirt he wore that was his uniform jersey when he played with Mike Trout at 11 years old. And he can still button the freaking thing up.
Still put it on. It's a little tight, but I can.
When he was 11, that's the Sand Sharks jersey.
I mean, it looks pretty cool. You can wear it like a vest. It's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad.
I love the number 6. Obviously, that was for Steve Garvey, right?
The 6? I don't remember why. I think it was just available. I couldn't get 8, so I chose 6.
That was my number when I was a kid because I loved Garvey. Once I got to school, I took 12 because football and stuff.
I put on a little bit more mass in my chest since I was 12, but it still fits.
I did too, but I don't call it my chest as much as my.
Well, Jeff, it sank down to your abs.
I was never big. I was the guy in the weight room that I think I've said this before. I know I've done it on other chats. I don't know if it was here. I was the guy that in the weight room, I found out where the dance team was, the cheerleaders. I got in the right position, and that just happened to be the leg extension machine, which was the most comfy chair in the place. All the coaches would scream my last name as soon as I said.
Where'd we go? We lost Jeff.
Oh no! You don't hear me?
Oh, he's back.
Okay, well, whatever. I was just making fun of my old self. It doesn't matter. All right, that's it. Jeff Ray had a teacher in high school whose name was Harry Chin. Really? Huh. I won't say that. All right, I think that's it for the night. Guys, have the best day ever. I appreciate it. Bill Jr., Bill Sr., you rock. Anything you want to end on before we say goodbye?
No, just him being able to get in that jersey makes me sick. Buttons would have been popping all over the office here if I tried to put my shirt on from when I was that old.
You know what I'm going to do now after he just pissed me off with that? I'm going to go have some ice cream downstairs. How about that?
I'm up for that.
That's why I said it. I'll melt for that. Sounds like a 90s song.
Oh, Jeff, you found a Dole place in Jersey?
Oh, yeah. I sent him pictures on the Ocean City Boardwalk.
Figured.
Love it. Love it. Love it. The official Aloha, whatever it is, aisle or Aloha, whatever, Dole Whip. Yep.
There.
They have the citrus too, the orange.
I don't want to hear about citrus swirl. Dole. All right, guys. Love you, man. Love you in chat. Thanks for being here every Tuesday night. If we have baseball, we'll be here. Even if we don't have baseball, we'll probably be here. Yeah. Hope you had a good time. Please like. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I don't know why I gave you 2 subs there. Give us some love that way, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bush League baseball as we get a little closer and we argue about the dude on second. Bless you and all that stuff. All right. That's it. Have the best day ever. See ya.